know a lot about it, but it'd have to play something about the ozone layer.
Carbon emissions do affect climate change, reducing the ozone layer and changing the temperature of the Earth.
I think carbon emissions are the cause of climate change and the reason why the planet is heating up too quickly.
The carbon emissions go out, they get stuck in the atmosphere, kind of work away at it, and kind of increase the sun rays that can come in. So it's a pretty integral part.
I'm not sure to the extent of what. I don't know if it is as much as like Al Gore said, but I think that there is definitely, with all the emission from cars and everything and factories, that it has to be doing something.
I think there's a lot of controversy about it. People either believe it or they don't.
Carbon dioxide is important because it's a greenhouse gas. So this is a kind of gas that absorbs heat radiation that's coming up from the surface of the Earth, and it makes it harder for the planet to cool. And when that happens, the surface of the planet warms up. Now, not all gases are greenhouse gases, so oxygen and nitrogen, which make up the bulk of the atmosphere, don't absorb this kind of heat radiation, and so they're not important for the greenhouse effect. But carbon dioxide is one of those key trace gases. Carbon emissions have been increasing since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and we are now putting into the air about 10 gigatons of carbon every year that wasn't happening before. And so the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has increased about 40% over what it was before the Industrial Revolution.
I think there's a lot of information out, but I just don't think it's getting to the people who don't know, like myself, for example.
I would talk to my dad about it, and my dad doesn't really know that much.
Yeah, my mom.
But I think information is essential because you have to get people to start thinking.
Lately, we have not heard very much information put out.
Because of the economic, I think, problems.
Yeah.
And I think people are kind of worried more about the economy and having a job.
I don't think that people are going to listen until it's a problem that affects them.
I think a lot of it focuses on the same idea, though. There's a lot of the movies that do it are kind of just like the inconvenient truth over and over again, and there's not really kind of a diverse set of ways of educating people about it, or different areas that they kind of educate people on it. So you get stuck on one idea, and when there's not an easy solution for it, people kind of just give up.
There could be more, but more in ways that are going to be accessible and appealing so people will listen. I mean, I think Al Gore did an awful lot for the environment with his film, but people just kind of close the door to it and forget.
You know, I mean, the basic facts of the greenhouse effect, they're not news. They've been known for 100 years, and so it's very hard if you're just relying on the media to tell you about something that's been known for 100 years. So where do people get that information, right? So sometimes they look it up on Wikipedia. They talk to friends. They have a trusted source, and sometimes those people let them down. There's a lot of people who talk about climate change who actually don't know anything about it, and who just add to the amount of disinformation that there is. Sometimes that's innocent, sometimes it's deliberate for some policy reason, but there's a lot of noise out there. The evidence that we're changing the amount of greenhouse gases is overwhelming. The evidence that the planet is warming is overwhelming. The evidence that these things are connected is pretty overwhelming. And so our anticipation for what's going to go on in the future is really based just on those few steps.
The history is history. Let's go forward and spend our money in a productive way and find a solution. There's lots of brilliant people, which I'm not one of, that can come up with that solution.
So tell me, what do I need to know?